Hello, students. Well, I am excited about online learning this school year. I think there are many advantages to online learning that a lot of people don't even realize. And I'm convinced that from now on, all schools should have several weeks of online learning because it really teaches some skills that you can't learn any other way. How to succeed with online learning and the virtual classroom. By me, Mr. Kruglinski. I am excited to report there are many wonderful benefits to the virtual classroom. And number one is sleep. I used to have students come to my class and they'd fall asleep. And if they did that 2 or 3 times, I could predict what they're going to get on the next test. Maybe a 30, maybe a 40, maybe even lower than that. So sleeping in class is a really, really negative thing to do. But just coming to class with little sleep or with less sleep than your body needs is really, really destructive. Your brain can only work at its very best with enough sleep. Most people need 8 hours. That's an average. So that means some people need 9 hours. Maybe some people only need 6 or 7 hours. But it is so important you find out how much sleep you need and then you organize your life so you get that much sleep. It is one of the best things you can do for your body and for your mind. A lack of sleep means lower cognitive function. What happens when you have too little sleep? You have poorer memory. You have poor coordination. You tend to bump into things and hurt yourself. You tend to be not a very safe driver. You have lower attention. Attention is so vital to success in high school and college and many careers. So you want to master that. And getting enough sleep can have a profound effect on your ability to pay attention. What happens when you have too little sleep? It actually reduces immune system function. So if you're afraid of COVID-19, if you want to keep COVID-19 away, sleep is one of the ways to keep all kinds of diseases away from you because it strengthens the immune system. What happens when you have enough sleep? You have a strong memory, stronger cognitive function. Suddenly math's easier, working out hard problems is easier. That's important because in a few weeks we're going to be working with some difficult formulas in your science class, and I need you to be at your best. But even more importantly, you need you to be at your best. Better ability to work out difficult problems, more confidence. Also, if you get enough sleep, you look younger. You actually look better. And generally better health. Sleep won't cure all things, but it certainly is a contributing factor into feeling better emotionally, physically, and it can improve a lot of things in your health. Like I said, there are many wonderful benefits to the virtual classroom, but some people are canceling those benefits. What are they doing? They're like, well, this isn't real school. I'm going to stay up till 3 in the morning. And then they come to class super tired and they can just barely pay attention and they can barely perform difficult logical problems. And that's exactly the opposite of what we want to do. We want to seize this moment right now. We don't know how long we're going to do online learning, but as long as we're doing it, try to get enough sleep. Use this as an excuse to get the maximum amount of sleep and see if the things I'm telling you are indeed true. See if it improves your health. See if it improves your ability in class. I can tell you as a teacher with 15 years experience, I've seen tremendous improvement when people do little fixes to their sleep routine. Number two, ability to use the internet to gather knowledge. So this is wonderful. We're going to be using the internet more, and that's a very, very powerful thing. Let me tell you a quick story. Let's say it's the future and you marry the person of your dreams. You've fallen completely in love and you're one of the lucky ones. You're just going to be very, very happy. But then the luck turns, that person gets very sick and you go to the doctor all worried, all upset, and that doctor's using a lot of big words. At that point, you will wish you could go back in a time machine to your science classes and build up your science vocabulary, your medical vocabulary. That's why we study now, so that we can enjoy the benefits of it later. Let's say the doctor says to you, due to the risk of heart disease, I'm going to prescribe 30 milligrams of Simvastatin. And you're like, 30 milligrams, is that a lot? Well, actually, that's something you could look up on the internet. Maybe the doctor's using a lot of technical words and you want to write them all down so you can look at them when you get home. But let's just look at one of these words. The person I love is going to start taking Simvastatin. Is that a problem? Is that good? Is that bad? And maybe I'm too shy to ask my doctor, or I don't want to look dumb. So I can just write it down, ask him to write it down, and I can look it up. And there it is. WebMD does a whole write-up on it. And that's just wonderful. So I can start reading up as much or as little as I want to learn all about this medicine. And maybe my wife likes to have a glass of wine before she goes to bed. Can she still do that under this medicine? Well, let's look under precautions. It says here, limit alcoholic beverages. Daily use of alcohol may increase your risk for liver problems. So I guess that glass of wine has to go. So the doctor didn't even mention alcohol, but he didn't need to because I have all that information right here. Scientists were amazed to discover that the elements have periodicity. Let's say I say that in class one day. That's great. I want to be amazed. Scientists were amazed. I want to be amazed too. But I'm not amazed because I don't understand the sentence. Let's pretend I don't know what periodicity means. That happens all the time. I'm going to be using big words in class and you might not know what all of them mean. What you can do is very simply type it in. Periodicity. And there's even a button that tells me how to pronounce it properly.
Periodicity.
And it's the quality or character of being periodic, the tendency to reoccur at intervals. If I don't know what periodic means, if I don't know what intervals mean, I can look up those words too. But the elements are periodic. Elements have periodicity. That means they start to repeat in their properties. And a lot of elements have similar properties, and there's a pattern. And that pattern was very important to discover because it was important first clues as to the structure of atoms. By discovering that elements have periodicity, we were then able to discover the structure of atoms. No one's ever seen an atom, but we don't need to see one if we see this periodicity in elements. All right. So you can see there are many wonderful benefits to the virtual classroom. And you know, if knowledge was money, all of you would be millionaires. I will say that again, if knowledge is money, all of you are millionaires. I couldn't look up Simvastatin when I was young or look up the word periodicity really quickly like you can. A lot of times if you had a disturbing visit with a doctor, you had to hopefully find a book or a magazine article, maybe go to the library and spend a lot of time there. It was difficult to find out things. Knowledge was scarce. Your generation has an enormous abundance of knowledge available at your fingertips. So get used to doing that, looking things up on the internet. Computer technology will one day soon revolutionize education. I truly believe that. It's good that we're on the computer learning because that is the future of learning. Let me just show you one program that I have here. This is a model of the interior of the Earth. Click the next button to continue. Please click the inner core. I know it's there. Please click the outer core. This is a fun way to learn. Now click the mantle. Can you click the crust? Well, yeah, this little layer right here is the crust. But I know that once in a while I have students with motor skills disability. That means they're very smart and capable, but they have trouble controlling their hands. Their hands are very shaky, and you can see it when they're using the mouse. They kind of shake. And a student with a motor skills disability probably wouldn't be able to click the crust. They'd probably want to click it, but they'd keep missing it. So I'm going to pretend I have that disability and I just keep missing this section. Do you see what the computer did? It recognized I have that particular disability and it made the crust larger so that I can click it. It even offered me an apology. Wow. And It's going to remember that I have that disability, and it's going to make certain things that are hard to click larger just for me. The rest of the class doesn't have to know I have that disability. The rest of the class doesn't have to receive this accommodation. It's just for me because the computer recognized I was struggling with something and it gave me help for something. That's called differentiated instruction, and computers can differentiate instruction at a very personal level and in ways that teachers simply just can't do. So ladies and gentlemen, this is just one example of the future of education and how personalized it's going to be real soon. There are many wonderful benefits to the virtual classroom. All right, let me talk about one negative thing. There's a few negative things too. I'm just going to talk about one today. Schools serve as places of vital support for many students. I had a student a few years ago. She said to me, the only time an adult ever smiles at me, the only time I ever get a compliment is at school. So I've had students tell me that their homes are mean places. Sometimes they're mad places. Sometimes they're sad places, but they're never happy places. So coming to school provides vital and necessary emotional support. So why do I bring this up? We have on Wednesdays kind of a free day for making an appointment with your teacher. If you need to hear a kind word, a supportive word, if you need to be around a positive personality, if you just need to see a smiling face, please schedule a meeting with me or one of your other teachers, or we can even arrange for you to talk to a counselor. But there are positive people in your life at your virtual school who are willing to be a positive influence in your life. So make sure, even though this has been taken away from you temporarily because of the pandemic, that you can still have the virtual version of this. And I ask you to please seize that opportunity. Write to me or write to another teacher you'd like to talk to. I'm sure we'd all be glad to meet with you once a week, twice a week, maybe more, whatever it is that you need. Okay? So there really are many wonderful benefits to the virtual classroom. I hope you learned a few of them today and are inspired by this. The end.